This podcast is a production of the Brickyard Network. To find out more about our lineup of ceramic podcasts, visit brickyardnetwork.org.
This episode is sponsored by Monkey Stuff. Monkey Stuff makes things for makers. We're inspired every day by the craft and creativity of makers, and design and manufacture tools and accessories to try to make your making life a bit more delightful. Our products are designed in California, by makers and for makers, and manufactured in the USA. Check out our line of pottery accessories and tools at monkeystuff.com. Follow us on Instagram to see what we're up to in our studios, and keep on making great things.
This episode is brought to you by Cornell Studio Supply, located in the Gem City of Dayton, Ohio. Find all your pottery and ceramic sculpture equipment and supplies with the best customer service and world-class workshops. Join us January 16th through the 18th, 2026 for a colored clay and material inclusion workshop with Chris Alvashir and Jillian Park. Visit CornellStudioSupply.com to sign up. Cornell Studio Supply, owned and operated for potters by potters.
Hello, my name is Kathy King, and welcome to the For Flux Sake podcast. I'm coming to you from the Harvard Ceramics program in our fair city, Allston, Massachusetts. I'm here with Rose and Matt Katz of the world-famous Ceramic Materials Workshop, and they are ready to answer your burning questions about clay and glaze. Happy Halloween, Matt and Rose.
Huzzah! Halloween!
Happy Halloween! Good lady, my fine, gentle ladies. Hello.
I see Lord Celsius has entered the room.
Lord Celsius is here too. Solve all your quandaries and mysteries that may be bothering you.
Oh my goodness. Is that how your voice sounds to you in your head?
Tut, lady. What do you mean how my voice sounds? This is my voice.
Oh my gosh. All right. So for our listeners out there, hopefully we'll have a photo that goes out, but Matt is wearing a top hat, has a monocle and a pipe, as Lord Celsius does.
What do you mean as Lord Celsius? I am Lord Celsius, my lady.
That's going to be a long
take
episode.
a front.
It is going to be a long episode.
Rose is already exhausted because I'm back home.
I'm already tired. And Rose has a lovely wizard's robe and is the wizard of clays, which is...
she is.
Period. Fact. Scientific. And then yours...
And Kathy, come on. Don't try to deny this.
You want to try and describe it? It's... Yep.
You've got the sash. So the sash is saying that you are, in fact, copper carb.
I am. So I have an all green outfit with a sash, but I have baguette slippers. So slippers in the shape of baguettes, a piece of bread on my head, and then a cape that has bread on it. Who knew you could just Google bread cape on Amazon and you could actually get something?
I think the bigger problem is the implication on the headwear is that you are inbred.
I'm going to try not to take offense.
Yeah, Kathy is copper carb.
I know. Thank you. I had to explain it to about 5 people. It only works in certain situations. So I'm with my people who would get copper carb.
I mean, let's be clear. I get a hard time on the nerdery, Kathy. This is like superior level nerdery on your part.
It's a good one.
It's brushing off on me. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And by the way, Matt, we missed you so much, despite what that episode sounded like.
Now, I have not listened to this episode.
You don't need to.
Don't.
Comments on my travels about the episode without me. I will just leave it there. But I will say, you know what the number one thing I got comments on? If people missed the last episode, I had been traveling. I was doing a keynote at the Australian Triennale and I did a workshop at Gaia in Bali in Indonesia. And had a
Awesome.
fantastic time. By far, leaps and bounds, the number one comment I got is, well, yeah, it's good to see you, but where's Kathy and Rose? Come on.
Ah!
I'm talking
Well.
more than like questions about glazes. It was, where is
Mhm.
Kathy and Rose?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
We should just come along with you for everything.
I don't understand. All international
We can heckle you.
organizations, please.
Yeah.
Rose and I will travel for cheap. Make us an
Yeah.
offer. We will
And the
make an
heckles come
appearance.
for free.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the show is free.
Yeah.
You just have to pay for everything else.
There you go. Oh, I would love it. Oh my God. Well, the photos looked amazing. It looked like you had an incredible time.
You know, I first have to say, I mean, Australia has just become our home away from home. I love our
Aw.
Aussie friends. How you going, everybody? I already miss you. It's such a wonderful place. Everyone there is so warm and inviting. And I've never felt danger from the animals. That's the first thing to get apart. I don't see the dangerous
that's
animals
good.
in Australia. I see the cute animals, the kangaroos, the wombats, the quokkas. But no, I don't see anything dangerous. So yeah,
'Cause
that
some
was
of them
wonderful.
will give you an STD, right?
Well, that's just the koalas, and I recommend not getting intimate with them. I mean, that's just a weird life choice.
No, they have crazy eyes and big claws.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, other than that, and Bali was amazing and wonderful. There, I did see some disturbing thing. I saw a spider that was 6 inches in diameter.
Oh my God.
That was terrifying. I was told it was perfectly safe, but it was still freaky. But the workshop at Gaia in Bali was amazing. Tropical paradise. Hot. I am a Northeastern American. I like the cold, and it was hot all day, every day. And I was there in October. So
Yeah, it's the same for me. It's like putting a polar bear on the tropical beach. It's just not going to look good. It's not going to look good.
but I am happy to be back at home, and I am ready to answer some questions.
Woohoo! Well, as we proved on the episode we did without you, we can do like 16 questions at a time, but we're going to lower that bar because we are going to really focus in on these wonderful questions coming in. First one comes to us from Sorrel in London, and Sorrel wants to know about wild clay usage.
Hi everyone, I love your podcast and I have a question. I run a small shared studio in London. We have 2 electric kilns. We're quite open to people experimenting with things. We use slag, we try and stay very safe. The main thing that I don't allow is any kind of wild clay or foraged clay, just because there's no way for me to work out what's in the clay. I am aware that a lot of wild clay is low fire, which would normally be fine because we do a low fire bisque. And I'm really keen to find a way to allow members to use wild clay just because it is something that interests them. But I'm not sure how to allow it without then creating a situation where we could really damage the kiln. Just because if they don't filter the clay properly, or if there is something odd in the clay, I'm nervous that that will damage the elements, or melt, or, all the other lovely things that can happen. Anyway, if you've got any tips on that, thanks so much. Bye.
Oh, I have thoughts.
No, Kathy's got opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think of the Instagram account Ceramic Casualties. You look at that Instagram page, and that is like 98% wrong temperature clay. That is most of what is in there is somebody put low temperature clay in a high temperature firing and destroyed their kiln. That to me seems to be the peril. But I mean, Kathy, you're the one who runs the studio. Is this allowed?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely not. No. And I think like it's just an overarching thought because I've been thinking about this a lot. And I think like we're losing sense of what a community studio is, and that it's catering to a collective, and it's trying to make so many people happy and to educate so many people on the gazillion variables that we have involved in clays and glazes and
many.
just regular, right? And I feel like everyone's just feeling that what they see on Instagram or whatnot, that everything's so accessible, everything looks so easy, everything seems so, it's like the bright, shiny thing. And I'm constantly being shown like things from Instagram and like, can I do this? And can I do this? And I just, try and assure people like, you're here for a very specific purpose. You are here to attain an education in clay. And please just give yourself the time to get to know the materials that the myriad of, like, we've got 8 different clay bodies. We've got like 40 different glazes. Like, give yourself the time to look and feel comfortable with those things before we start adding like random clay. If I have an advanced student who wants to bring in an outside clay, they have to fill in a form. I need a photo of the box or however it's labeled. I need, or a link to the website where they got it. They have to clearly label it. They cannot leave it in any public space in our studio. It has to go either on their private space, private shelf, or in the trunk of their car. I don't care, but it's not laying out and about. And it's still, even with advanced people, there are people who get lazy and they end up putting a, cone 6 clay in the wrong slurry bucket. And it messes with all the hard work that my staff are already doing to keep this place running, to keep our clays tip top and that everybody can use them and have great results. So long story short, we just can't be everything to everybody.
That is such an interesting perspective that I had not thought of, because I will admit I've never worked in a public studio. I worked in universities, which are semi-public, but usually based around exploration. But I mean, I'll say it for Kathy, because I think you're still being nice about it, and on behalf of Sorrel, that you can play it for your audience members. But like, this is not your studio, people. Like, that I think is a really important thing to drive home. And I know ceramics is about exploration and experimentation, but like, sometimes you got to experiment within parameters. Sometimes I think people think that things like, the concept of just training wheels is like offensive, but like, that's kind of what the public studio is for. And boy, the other thing that you touched on there, Kathy, is just this concept that because you see it on social media, it makes it easy, or that it's something that you should do. We see this in teaching about glazes every day. We get so many people that come to us and like, well, I want to do this glaze. I want these crystals, or I want a guan crackle, or I want a tomato red. To which I have to turn around and go, those are literally the most difficult glazes to control. I have a student that's been with us for years, and I was meeting with her yesterday, and she's like, I have studied and studied and studied, and my glaze still went to hell. And she was like, I need to fix this. And I was working with her to fix it. And like, she's super smart. She super knew the answers, but it was still like exhausting and frustrating that things have challenges to them.
Yeah. I mean, my mom used to work with my wild clay. She dug the clay out back of her studio, but that's all she did. She didn't intermix other bodies or other things. Like, in that kiln was dedicated to the firing of wild clay. And that's like it's a slippery slope when you get there.
Yeah. I mean, I think a good example is with what we do with y'all. Like, we run a class with Ceramic Materials Workshop that allows people to take a glaze, or right now they're taking the clay bodies class. And because we're in an urban environment, or people just don't have space in their studios for 50-pound bags of everything, they can do the projects for the class at our place. But it is not a promise that if you, test this amazing glaze that Matt worked with you on, that doesn't mean you get to mix a 5-gallon bucket of it. and just, roll it around in the studio. It's unfortunate. I wish we could, but it's at that point you're allowed to test. You're allowed to make small batches in a controlled environment. And I would say with the wild clay, if there's an opportunity to work with this person or a person to test it and run it through the kiln in a very safe way, like in a small amount on a tray, etc., to establish what the temperature range is, like maybe that can work. But, people just are so inspired by the book that came out maybe 2 years ago, called Wild Clay, Creating Ceramics and Glazes for Natural and Found Resources by Matt Levy, Takuro, and Hitomi Shibata. And it is an incredible, exciting book. But, it's all about where you have access to do that experimentation.
Well, the other thing that really on that, and Matt was a student of mine, and the other book I think about is Melissa Weiss put out a book a couple of years ago. And I think her book is more revealing than people might have realized, because she talks about something that's really practical when talking about wild clay, which is, all right, feel free to send the hater email. Y'all know I don't care. Wild clay sucks, you guys. Like, it sucks.
Okay.
No, I'm not kidding.
We got to it. All right.
But what Melissa talks about in her book, and they talk about it in the wild clay book, is people just think like you're just going to go out and dig clay and make pots from it. You absolutely are not. As Rose was saying, when her mother worked in wild clay, it is so much digging and drying and grinding and processing
and
sieving.
It's back-breaking. Not easy, because you don't want just a little pebble to test with. You want a whole bunch so you can keep going with it once you know what it is.
Yeah. And to what Melissa really talks about in her book is that a lot of clay sucks to work with. People assume that, it's clay is clay. No, there is a major difference between the clay you can make for making pots or sculpture and the clay that you are getting from your public studio or from a clay supplier. It is designed to be as workable as possible. And just because you dig it does not mean it's going to be plastic. And what Melissa says, and I think they say it in the wild clay book too, is that her clay body is only 30% wild clay. You can't use 100% wild clay. I had an experience years ago where this guy came to me. He said, I live on this farm and I've got all this clay and I want to make ungi pots from it, the big Korean pots. But the clay just keeps cracking and falling apart. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And so, he asked me to help redesign his clay body. So I'm like, okay, well, let's take your clay and let's what we call amend it with some commercial kaolins and fire clays and stuff. And he goes off and tests these things. He's like, this is so much better. Can we make it even better? And I'm like, yeah. So I add in even more of the commercial product. And he comes back after testing those. He's like, yeah, this is really great. But you fail to understand. I want to make stuff with my wild clay. I'm like, no, you fail to understand. You have crap. You have total crap, which is why it was never working for you. And I'm just making it workable crap. And literally that was about 30% wild clay and 70% like commercial product. And like, that's what Melissa Weiss is doing. And that's what it takes for a lot of these wild clays to really be workable. And so just to assume that it's going to be workable because it's clay combined with all the labor, like,
much labor.
I wouldn't do it. As Kathy says, it's not a good idea for your studio. Another thing Rose and I always say as we've gotten older, that like you learn this thing of like, when you're young and you're coming up and like, why is this a rule? That seems like a stupid rule. Like, when you're working in any type of a system or a public space and like, that's such a dumb rule. And then you get your own space and you say, well, I don't need that rule. And then you find out that the other rule exists for a very good reason. Because like somebody did something terrible.
Right,
and that's where rules come from. And this is one of those ones where I would not waste time screwing around with that.
And be kind to your community organizers, because it breaks my heart. I wish we could do everything. I really do. I mean, for example, and I can show you in a minute, but I have a glass tube filled with clay or mud, really, that was drilled from the deep parts of the ocean off the coast of California by a class in biology here at Harvard. And they brought it over and want me to mix it with clay to make medallions that will be awarded to all the participants of this endeavor where they did this drilling and studying of the ocean floor. Yeah. Imagine what it smells like. Just take a second. Just take a second.
I bet it's great. It smells like the ocean.
It's awesome.
You got me mid-sip of tea. I'll spit it out all over.
And I will do this. I will do this because I am charging them a lot of money. Today's episode is brought to you by the Rosenfield Collection of Functional Ceramic Art. The collection exists as an online source for research and inspiration, featuring photos of thousands of objects made by over 800 artists. The images are high quality and can be used with no permission required. To find out more, visit www.rosenfieldcollection.com.
Glazes don't make sense, but that's why Rose and I are here at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com, helping translate glazes for real ceramicists like you. So join us for our brand new class starting October 1st. It's for everyone from beginners to masters. We clear up all the mysteries of glazes to make them work for you. Join us at ceramicmaterialsworkshop.com for making glazes make sense.
So let us move on. We stayed there long enough, and I have a feeling this is going to be another one that I'm going to have thoughts about. Grace from Charleston, South Carolina, called in with a question about laundry.
Hi, For Flux Sake team. My name is Grace, and I'm in South Carolina. I'm wrapping up a big glaze session, and as usual, I'm filthy. I would love to hear your advice on how to best deal with dirty studio laundry. And that would include the towels that I use while I'm at the wheel, as well as my personal clothing. Is it safe and is it okay to wash them in your own personal washing machine, or should you go to a community laundromat, or what? Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure Kathy's got the real answer because Kathy deals with this every day. But like, I'm going to say my two words and then let y'all go, which is public laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It depends. Yeah,
somebody else's problem.
Under the cover of night, like
go to the ones that don't have an attendant.
With a fake mustache on, a baklava, whatever you need to do. But believe me, no, the services are not going to do it.
No.
And I have to say, like, we had an event a week or two ago where we had 120 anthropology students come in through the studio, and they go through different rotations, like mix clay bodies and work with a Pueblo potter, making a coil pot, et cetera, et cetera. All of them got an apron to wear, and all of them are in the back of my car because I'm going to have to wash them. Oh. And the reason why I do that, I in the past I've asked like for volunteers at the studio, is I think out of my staff I have the oldest laundry, like I have the oldest washing machine. And it's like I'm almost daring it to die. I've got like a new one in a box staring at it from across the room, but this one just won't go. So,
it won't die.
Listen, 1984 Maytag. Yep.
It's
held together by
lubrication.
hardened clay.
Oh my God. But for the studio, I will say that we stopped using large towels in our studio. It's just too heavy, too much, because you want to take whatever it is that you're bringing home, like allow it to soak like in a 5-gallon bucket, just get some of the chunkiness off of it before, make it a little safer to run through your washing machine. But large towels are just terrible. So we've switched to microfibers. So I get big packs of microfibers, and I have some drying racks in each of the rooms. So people who are throwing, they may use multiple, but they're so much easier to clean in the sink and just like lay out to dry again, and they dry rather quickly. And they're also awesome when you're done cleaning up your wheel and you think you've done this awesome job, and then you come back maybe 10 minutes later and it's dry and completely streaky with white clay. The microfiber takes that right off. So
yeah, we've switched to that too in our studio, where it's just microfibers. We don't use big towels anymore or anything like that. They're
Which is
quite
so
nice.
funny, because that's totally what I used when I was making pots. I just had like big bath towels, and you like throw them over your
Right? What were
shoulder
we
between your
thinking?
legs. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I know, it's like that way, and you're wearing an apron too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what are we doing? Ben, what do you guys use in your studio?
Yeah, we use washcloths. So just like
Okay.
a small terry cloth washcloth. And do y'all remember Little House on the Prairie?
Yeah.
That's like
Yes.
me every Monday morning. I'm like Little House on the Prairie, washing them in the creek,
Aw.
except the creek is an orange Home Depot bucket in the sink.
Oh my
And I just
God.
like hand scrub them.
With the washboard and everything.
Yeah. With his calico dress on and his bonnet
His braids.
after he's churned the butter for the breakfast.
Yeah.
That's a visual.
Ben boy.
Ben boy.
But then we just wash them normal. And I think the key is to shame people that are dirty. I think that's what we need to advocate, is just shame them. Like if they're just like so dirty that they keep bringing towels and towels and towels, just be like, what are you doing? Why are you like that?
Well, but that's an interesting process thought, though, because going back to like using the bath towels, I know we would let those bath towels get caked up with clay and use them for days and days until they were so chunky you had to go and rinse them. With the hand towels, because we just buy them by like the case. So we've got like 50 hand towels, and it just, because they're so small, you wash them off right away, and every night they get left out to dry, and they're dry by the next morning. And so you can't get them caked up. It just doesn't happen by default. So they're constantly in this sort of washing, drying cycle.
Yeah. And like if things are chunky, like soak them in a bucket of water before you put them in the washer.
And then stuff like aprons, like even around our studio, like, it's worse because we're not, I think if you're throwing, you get more clay on you. If you're making glazes, like you get some things splashed on you, and you wash the apron every now and then.
I don't know. When I was in industry, I used to get filthy from head to toe in glaze.
Yeah, but your personal hygiene is disgusting.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, I would come home, I wore a lab coat and everything. Like I had
you
layers,
cats.
but like I would still get
Good
I would come home dusty and,
Oh,
and
my.
Actually,
Yeah.
Rose looks adorable in a lab coat, and she would always button down lab
Yeah.
coat straight down.
Yeah, try
She
and
looked
dig your way
good.
out of that, Matt. We all heard it. Recording. I don't know if you know that.
I'm in such a hole. I'm never getting out. It
I know,
doesn't
right?
matter
Yeah.
at this point.
All right. Well, let's slip one more in. So Chandler from somewhere unknown wrote in and asked about they would love to know how to open material bags properly. That's such a great question because, if you don't do it right and you're trying to put it into another bin, let's say, you can put so much material in the air. You should be wearing a great mask. So what do you all do?
it depends. It depends on what where it's going,
Mm-hmm.
like what your container is.
The lady speaks the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know that part.
Okay.
Sorry, I was waiting to see Rose.
So yes, your container. So we have those what are they called? Glaze lab bins, the metal ones that the whole bag goes into. And I like them. There's some good things and bad things about them, but the fact that one whole bag just slides right in, I don't have to take it out of the bag, which is great because then I can still identify it. And then I only have to cut open the very top of that bag in order to access the material. I'm not cutting a huge slit down the side or in the middle or like cutting it in half. So it's down towards the end is it's not fun to scoop it all out, but it's easy to change again. It keeps it fairly neat and tidy.
So for those, first of all, I mean, my first thing is never tear a bag open.
Right? I
Ever.
agreed.
Yeah.
You get a utility knife and you keep it with you. We keep the foldable kind stashed all over the studio.
Yeah.
And so you can slice, and you want clean slices. So for those, we slice the top of the bag on 3 sides so that top flap will go back. And if the top flap gets in the way, then you can slice that off. But you keep that top flap, you can always see the labeling, and it keeps it contained.
People act like it's Christmas morning. I'm like, what are you in such a hurry to get to that NFSI for? Like, just get us a pair of scissors or a utility
It's like the
knife.
kids in the cereal boxes. It looks like
Right?
a
Oh my
rabid
God.
squirrel opened it because it's all torn. I'm like, what happened? I just wanted some cereal. Like,
No
jeez.
patience.
No.
Well, but that is a big deal. I will say, when we go back, and we've talked about it on the show before, but when we're talking about things like silicosis exposure, the number one way to get silicosis exposure is when you're going into large bags or you're moving large bags. Actually, scooping and weighing materials, it has been studied. There is no exposure when you're doing that. But when you're taking these bags and you're sort of dropping them and kicking up big clouds of dust, or you're slicing them and dumping them, that's when you're kicking up huge clouds of dust. So be precise. It will minimize that dust exposure.
Yeah.
The other way we'll store materials is we have these tubs. They're Rubbermaid tubs, and I think we use the 10-gallon size. And those will hold a 50-pound, 25-kilo bag pretty easily if you lay it flat. And for those, we slice them like a capital I. So you slice it once down the middle and twice on either end, so both flaps open like a book. And then you can scoop from there. But again, precise, sharp cuts, minimizing the moving and the tearing and the chaos. It's going to keep paper out of your raw materials. Boy, the tearing, you're going to get chunks of paper when you're scooping or in your clay body if you're mixing clay. So take the time to be precise. It is totally your friend.
See, such a simple question, but we were ready to offer way too many details about it. I love it. That's why you listen to this, people. This is why.
We bother to care about the dumbest things.
I know,
Yeah.
exactly. We're passionate about how to open material bags. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm exhausted. I can't handle any more today. So we're going to close this down, people.
Well, before we go, I do have to say to everybody, as we have said before, we are now a completely independent production, and we need your assistance, everybody. So please, please, please join us on our Patreon for $5 a month. We are going to start with our Patreon episodes in November. So if you have a question you didn't get answered, boom, it's going up on Patreon, and those will start coming out only for Patreon members. Exclusive. But for $5 a month, it helps us to keep doing this show. It helps to keep Ben in washcloth buckets.
And his calico dresses. Yeah.
But we need your support. So join us on Patreon, everybody.
And it keeps Matt talking too.
There you go. We got to keep.
They're going to stop donating. Don't say that.
All right, Matt and Rose. See you next time. Bye.
See ya. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Well, folks, that's it for this week's episode of For Flux Sake. I'd like to thank the listeners who submitted questions this week. And if you want your question answered on the show, shoot us an email at ForFluxSakePodcast@gmail.com. So join us next time. And when in your studio, remember what Rose always says.
Always remember to test, test, test. This is a test of the emergency glaze system. Beep. Hey, For Flux Sake friends. Wish you could hang with us a little more each month? Well, you can come join us at our For Flux Sake fan club on Patreon. You'll get discounts on our new merch, chances to chat with us during live hangouts, and extra episodes just for you. Find us at patreon.com/ForFluxSakePodcast. We'd love to see you there.